In Hyrkan's mind, the scene of the dark Boboru Forest appeared, teeming with level 70 monsters. Hideous creatures with glowing red eyes and bodies swirling like black smoke emanated a deadly aura. Cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Hyrkan exclaimed in shock, "That's a dangerous area. I'll die instantly if I go there now." Facing him, the NPC with a full beard spoke in a calm yet forceful voice. "And that is why I ask you, a Heimbree's disciple, please go to Boboru Forest. If you refuse, you will lose the title of Fallen Pursuer." The threat struck like a bolt of lightning. Hyrkan's eyes widened in astonishment, his mind completely blank. What? The town clock tower's bells chimed, shattering the tense atmosphere. Under the morning sun, people still bustled across the square. Amidst the commotion, Hyrkan sat alone on the stone steps, burying his head in his hands. The weight of an impossible choice pressed heavily on his shoulders, a feeling of helplessness and despair enveloping his mind.
A dizzy spell hit. Hyrkan clutched his head, eyes wide with panic. He exhaled sharply. What the hell is this? Immediately a command echoed in his mind. Quest window. A mystical purple system screen appeared before Hyrkan with the large text, "Find Migi." The quest required him to find the missing agent Migi, who was investigating the darkening stones, and take over the mission. The reward was 500 gold and additional items, but what stunned Hyrkan was the penalty highlighted by a dazzling golden light: loss of the Dark Seeker title if the quest was not completed within 29 days. Real panic erupted in his chest. Hyrkan cried out in despair. "If I lose the Dark Seeker qualification, I'll be kicked off the main quest line. What kind of hellish difficulty is this?" He clenched his fists, cold sweat beading on his forehead. A harsh truth suddenly dawned on him. It seems that accepting all those quests beyond my level has backfired. Darkness enveloped Hyrkan's thoughts as he recalled. Normally, I wouldn't have been able to complete those quests, he thought, remembering facing the giant monster or having to use the skeleton's full power to fight. But somehow I managed and continued to the next quest, and now...
The NPC's voice still echoed in Hyrkan's ears. "I have asked you to go to Boboru Forest." Stepping out into the sunny square, Hyrkan felt an invisible weight on his shoulders. A quest for level 60 and above? He ruffled his silver hair in confusion, his mind racing. Slumping onto a wooden bench, he lowered his head, hands propped on his forehead. "What am I supposed to do? I can't just abandon the main questline like this," he muttered to himself, overwhelmed by despair. "But I really can't go to Boboru Forest." While Hyrkan was still deep in his hopeless thoughts, the conversation of two other players nearby caught his attention. One player, wearing shoulder armor, enthusiastically discussed, "Do you think the Hydra Guild will complete the main questline? If they do, they'll definitely surpass other guilds. I know it. The rest of the top 30 guilds are even having trouble starting the questline." He suddenly paused as an idea struck him. But wait, what will happen to all the other ongoing main questlines if the corrupted count is defeated? That question was like an electric current through Hyrkan's mind. His entire body stiffened, his eyes wide open, astonishment quickly transforming into a sharp gleam of enlightenment. A calculating and confident smile slowly spread across his lips. "It seems," Hyrkan mused to himself, a bold decision having formed, "I don't need to go to Boboru Forest anymore."
Hyrkan's smile turned sharp and insidious. In his black cloak, his silver hair stood on end, and his green eyes gleamed with an indescribable frenzy. A mysterious blue energy began to gather around his wrist, signaling an astonishing power about to be unleashed. Meanwhile, on a distant hill, a gloomy, ancient castle emerged through the lens of a pair of binoculars. The observer sighed, muttering, "Nothing special today." A player dressed in black, lying prone on the ground, lowered his binoculars and turned to his orange-haired teammate. He looked relieved. "Our mission is finally almost over. Having to sit here guarding this castle for hours every day drives me insane. Don't you agree, Natal?" Natal, Hydra's 8th commander, remained silent. Both sat on the rocky outcrop, gazing into the distance, encompassing both the majestic castle on the cliff and the small village below. Natal's teammate excitedly continued, his voice full of anticipation. "I wonder what the reward for defeating the fallen count will be. The Hydra Guild will surely be ranked among the highest, won't it?" Natal, with a calm expression, replied cautiously, "Don't celebrate too soon."
Natal lowered his binoculars, his expression serious. He turned to his kneeling teammate, speaking in a chiding tone. We're not done here. Our mission is to secretly monitor the corrupted Count's castle, so we can't let our guard down and reveal any information. True professionals know how to keep their calm. Natal's words were abruptly cut short by his own gasp of surprise as a teasing voice suddenly rang out from behind him. "Found you, Natal of Hydra." "What?" Natal spun around, his face showing extreme panic. From the forest, a burly young man with dreadlocks and a red scarf was running towards them, one arm enthusiastically raised in a wave. It was Kim's, rank 3 of the Red Bulls Guild. He flashed a bright smile, greeting them cheerfully. "Long time no see. Hello, hello." Natal stammered in shock. A Red Bulls member? What are you doing here?" Kim's tilted his head, looking puzzled by the question. "Huh? The boss monster on this mountain is high level, so I'm on my way to eliminate it." He casually pointed towards the mountain peak, a small yellow chick still wiggling in his hair. "Isn't that why you're here too?"
Natal and his comrade were in hiding, the comrade's face clearly showing tension. He stammered, "We can't." Natal, with a gloomy expression, seemed to reluctantly agree. "Well, I suppose so." Suddenly, Kim's appeared, crouching down, his face close to Natal's with a teasing smile, the small yellow bird on his dreadlocks also tilting its head. Kim scoffed, "You don't look so good, huh? Need to go relieve yourself? Okay, it's an emergency. I'm off. Feel free." Anger flared, Natal's face flushing red with humiliation. He roared, "No, I don't!" Kim's merely shrugged, smiled, and casually walked away. Unable to control his rage, Natal sprang up, intending to charge after him. His comrade frantically held him back, calling out, "Natal!" From a distance, Kim's looked back and yelled, "Hey, I told you it wasn't that! Come back here!" Suddenly, Kim stopped. The smirk on his lips vanished, replaced by a chillingly serious and cold expression. He raised his hand, and the watch on his wrist emitted a mystical blue light. The light reflected on Kim's face as he murmured, his voice full of confirmation, "Hydra's 8th commander is here. It seems the intel we received is true."
In the luxurious control room, a voice echoed from the communication device. "Boss." Mathador Shev, Red Bull's leader, stared in shock at the holographic screen showing an incoming call, his muscular face revealing doubt. "Impossible," he murmured, disbelieving what he'd heard. Sitting beside him, Yell, with fiery red hair and sharp eyes, calmly yet confusedly explained the situation. "That anonymous message about the corrupt Count's location, I was sure it was a joke at first, though we still sent Kim's to check. They provided such crucial information anonymously and completely free. What could their motive be? I'm not sure. Perhaps someone in the Hydra organization has a grudge against their own." Mathador interrupted her, his tone decisive and somewhat desperate. Hey, we're not in a position to be picky here. We're about to lose everything to Hydra." As he finished speaking, the communication signal on the screen flickered, then died, leaving a tense silence hanging over the room. In a dark space elsewhere, Kim smirked. Through the communication device, he made a bold offer. "How about I start a fight and buy us some time?"
Mathador Chef's authoritative voice resonated through the communication device, his expression becoming extremely serious. "No, you should retreat now. If that's truly the fallen Count's castle, I'm certain most of Hydra's forces have already been dispatched there. We cannot afford to lose one of the guild's main forces at this moment." Kim's merely smirked, his eyes glancing at the communication watch on his wrist. "You're just trying to flatter me," he replied casually, his gaze fixed on the distant castle. "The Red Bulls wouldn't fall without me anyway." His words were abruptly cut off. A brilliant blue surge of energy tore through the air, plummeting from above directly towards Kim's position at terrifying speed. Boom! The ground shook violently as the explosion created a colossal crater, sending debris flying. The impact was so severe that Mathador and Yell on the other end of the line flinched from the shock. "Kim's!" Mathador screamed in horror. As the dense smoke and dust gradually cleared, Kim's figure emerged, completely unharmed at the epicenter. He leisurely raised a hand to his ear, listening to the guildmaster's panic with a knowing smile. "It seems we're not the only ones who got that intel, boss."
Amidst the chaos, Kim subtly smirked, letting out a sarcastic remark upon seeing a familiar figure emerge. The crazy Chihuahua. No, rather, the princess of the Thunder Hunters has arrived. From beneath the dust, Haohui looked up, her pink eyes glowing terrifyingly. A wicked smile spread on her lips as she delivered a cold ultimatum. "Tell me everything you know, otherwise you're dead for sure." In another scene, a savage roar echoed through the forest. A monstrous, giant bear with blood-red eyes burst from the shadows, bearing sharp fangs. Facing it was a colossal stone golem. Its single eye, emitting a cold blue light, raised its hand, readying its defense. But the monstrous bear allowed no preparation. With a space-rending roar, it swung its sharp claws. A devastating blow instantly shattered the golem's head, sending fragments flying. Immediately, a relentless barrage of attacks pounded the golem's rock-hard body, creating deafening impacts. The stone golem's form cracked, then disintegrated under the tremendous power. The blue light in its eye weakened, then extinguished, leaving only dead silence.
Before Golem, a huge monster bear was growling, its fiery red eyes gleaming ferociously. Both stood facing each other in a moment of tense silence. Behind Golem, Hyrkan stood with folded arms alongside his skeleton army, quietly observing. The bear let out an earth-shattering roar and charged, but Golem was even faster. It swung its steel-hard stone fist, delivering a devastating blow to the monster's face that left it dazed. While the world-shaking battle raged, Hyrkan leisurely perched on a high tree branch, while the skeleton army sat on the ground, wearing 3D glasses and nonchalantly eating popcorn as if watching a blockbuster movie. Hyrkan indifferently glanced at the fight below, then refocused on the virtual screen in front of him. The words "no search results" coldly appeared. He sighed softly, his expression clearly showing impatience. Why is it so quiet? I'm sure I sent the email. Someone should have replied by now, he mused, his gaze sharpening as a bold decision popped into his head. The only way to solve this problem without having to go to Boboru Forest is...
In the vast universe of Warlord, the main questline is divided into several different chapters. The first chapter, The Fallen Count, is currently underway, and once this count is defeated, the chapter will conclude. Simultaneously, a harsh rule will be enforced. All related quests will be forcibly terminated. This thought gave Hyrkan a headache. He ruffled his white hair in frustration, anxiety clearly visible on his face. Perched on a rough branch amidst the dense forest, Hyrkan mumbled his calculations, his voice laced with impatience. Even if I were to face the Fallen Count myself, there's no way I could defeat him within the time limit. I'd rather use that time to start the next chapter. So I don't care who it is, I just need someone to defeat him. That's why I've spread this information to many guilds. Except for Chaselian, of course. So why aren't they making any moves? His train of thought was abruptly cut off. Hyrkan's eyes widened, a sharp spark of realization flashing as a terrifying possibility suddenly emerged in his mind.
A sudden blue system notification appeared before Hyrkan, making him pause for a moment. The official Hydra Guild channel had started live streaming. At that very moment, the ground shook violently. A massive stone fist slammed down, sending dirt and rocks flying. From the earth, a huge golem, its body formed from rough boulders, slowly rose. Its single eye emitted a cold blue light as it took heavy steps, making the entire forest seem to groan. Facing it, a gigantic monster bear let out a savage roar, its glowing red eyes burning with murderous intent. But its rage was quickly quelled. In an instant, Hyrkan shot up into the air, delivering a thunderous punch straight to the monster's head. "Shut up," he growled. "I need to watch the live stream, so be quiet." The gigantic bear collapsed to the ground, unconscious, its tongue hanging out. Hyrkan casually brushed off his hands, while the golem stood towering behind him and the skeleton warriors waited in silence. He unhurriedly found a nearby log and sat down, surrounded by his loyal subordinates. A blue holographic screen appeared from his wrist. "Hello, viewers."
Amidst a shower of celebratory confetti, a high-ranking member of the Hydra Guild in dazzling white armor stood before the microphone, their voice full of confidence and pride echoing everywhere through the live broadcast. "We, the Hydra Guild, are the first to discover the identity of the corrupted Count. Therefore, we are planning to carry out a raid, and the estimated date is..." In a dark, damp space, Hyrkan meticulously followed every word on the holographic screen. His entire body tensed, a cold bead of sweat slowly tracing a path down his temple. "Please, please let it be this month," he desperately prayed in a whisper, his emerald eyes fixed on the screen. The voice from the broadcast rang out again, loudly proclaiming the decisive moment. "In 10 days." In that instant, Hyrkan was utterly stunned. Seated between two loyal skeleton warriors, his eyes wide, filled with shock and disbelief, he stared at the screen, his mind completely blank from the sudden information.